France cannot afford to compromise on fishing rights, and Boris Johnson must accept the need to make concessions if there is to be any hope of striking a post-Brexit trade deal in the coming days, a French MEP has insisted, and in a move unlikely to impress Brexiteers, Nicolas Bay also suggested an extension to the transition period might be necessary to get a deal over the line. With barely a month to go before the end of the transition period, the question of post-Brexit fishing rights remains a key sticking point, with Boris Johnson insisting any agreement would need to enable Britain to take back control of its waters. However, with French President Emmanuel Macron under huge pressure from his country's fishing industry, which is heavily reliant on the seas around the UK, not to cave in on the issue, Mr. Bay, General Secretary of the right-wing National Rally Party, suggested it was not exactly plain sailing. He said, "I hope a mutually beneficial solution will be found as soon as possible." However, as a French parliamentarian and more particularly as an elected representative of the Normandy region, I must remind our British partners that our economic interests, particularly concerning fishing, are vital, and that we cannot afford to compromise on certain subjects. You wanted to break with the EU in order to best defend your interests. That is respectable. But don't forget that we have interests too, Mr. Bay added. It is up to Boris Johnson's government to see whether a deal is indeed possible, in which case, for the good of both sides, perhaps an extension of the transition period could be considered, but that would require a commitment on both sides to make concessions, the details of which will be worked out later. If it's just a matter of sticking to your positions indefinitely, you might as well leave it there, EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier, himself a Frenchman, and UK counterpart Lord David Frost are continuing their talks aimed at thrashing out a deal, with considerations about the level playing field and the role of the European Court of Justice the other main sticking points. Consequently, Mr. Bay was skeptical about their prospects of success given the time frame they were being forced to operate in, while suggesting Brussels needed to shoulder a considerable share of the blame for the current impasse. He said, "It seems difficult to me. Brussels originally started on a position which de facto compromised the negotiations, to punish the United Kingdom. The delay accumulated due to this political choice is the cause of the current impasse. I believe that the opening of negotiations for a comprehensive agreement should have been made conditional on a compromise on fisheries, which is, as expected, the main problem today. Obviously, it would also have been necessary to respect the sovereign choice of the British people instead of despising it. This was not the will of the EU. The current situation is its responsibility. Mr. Barnier is seeking to break the deadlock by proposing that 18% of the value of fish quota which European fleets catch in British waters be restored to the United Kingdom, Irish broadcaster RTE reported today. RTE correspondent Tony Connolly said, EU vessels catch on average €650 million in quota each year from UK waters, meaning Barnier's offer would be worth up to €117 million. These would be in demersal and pelagic stocks. However, the offer was swiftly dismissed, with a UK source close to the talks telling Express Co UK, "It's derisory, there's nothing more to say about it."